There's no cure for racing. You're not even going broke. The only cure for racing is the end of our lives, not the end of our career.
By far the best series I've ever raced in, dollar for dollar. I can race all year on a quarter what it would cost me to run anything else.
Here you can beat it out or make a new one and be back the next week. And it's really an affordable series. I really like it.
It's nice to come back, and have the car slide around and, put it back in the driver's hands. I like that.
Hi everybody, I'm Olivia Pritchett and I am here at the beautiful and scenic facility known as Jennerstown Speedway. Our driver Bob Shack still has the lead to get that national title, but driver Brent Nelson has recently made an amazing comeback, taking 2 first-place finishes at this very track. The stands are starting to fill up as our drivers prepare for the single biggest race of the racing season. Welcome to the National Championship Race.
Thank you, Olivia. The crowd certainly filing into a beautiful facility here in western Pennsylvania, the Laurel Mountain region, where they've been racing for 91 years. I'm Gene Crane. You heard from Olivia Pritchett, and we're ready to roll with race number 2 of these Twin 50s. The American Racer Tires Night at the Races, presented by Performance Fiberglass Products, the second of Twin 50s, as New York's Ron Langdon will line up inside row number 1 with the 17 car, and the 51, a former champion here in the series, Harvey Harrison on the outside. From Texas, Toby Grinovich in the 40 lines up on the inside of row number 2, and Bob Shack, the point leader, on the outside in the 75 car. Row 3, we saw Brent Nelson go to victory lane earlier this afternoon in race number 1. He has the 80 on the inside of row number 3, and Bill Ashton in the 35 on the outside of him. Stephen Cox has the 21 inside row number 4, and John Kemerinsky in the 33 lining up on the outside. Jeff Zillweger in car 18 inside row number 5, and Lauren Butler on the outside in the 53. The 22 of Mark Jones lines up on the inside of row number 6, and Andrew Kostelnick in the 41 alongside him. The 14 of Mike Potter lines up inside row 7, and in car number 7, Samatha Rohrbaugh on the outside. Kevin Kromer's 77 car lines up inside row number 8, and John Miller in the 3 car alongside him. Our field is set, and traveling right now behind the safety truck here at Jennerstown Speedway. That truck heads to pit road. Field looking to the flag stand, ready for a start in the second Twin 50, and on the brake, Ron Langdon gets through the gearbox and jumps out to an early lead down to turn 1. Harvey Harrison, second position, riding the middle lane through turns 1 and 2, with Toby Grinovich in that 40 car settling into third. Off into turn number 3, Langdon in that 17 car holds court. He has a 2-car length advantage back to start finish as Brent Nelson and Bob Shack battling out for 3rd and 4th. Or excuse me, that's 4th and 5th. Off of turn 2, Langdon. 17 car, 3-car length advantage. Grinovich closes in just a little bit on Harvey Harrison, but it's Langdon showing the way. Ron Langdon, no stranger to stock car racing, has had a lot of success back in Freeport, New York, and looking for more in the Super Cup Series.
Nah, we're missing something. I don't know what it is yet. We keep creeping up on it. Every time I think we're close, we're not as close as I'd like to be. But we're there. We're getting there. I get frustrated a little bit because I'm not, doing as well as I'm used to doing. But top 5 would be great. I'm not going to be ticked. I can't be ticked. I have too much fun doing this.
He's got to be having a lot of fun right now. And the one thing he's missing is seeing anybody in front of him. Ron, that's exactly what you want to put that W in the win column. He had a top 5 last year and a pair of top 5 so far in 2018. And tonight he's showing the way over Harvey Harrison, Toby Grinovich, Brent Nelson, and Bob Shack. More from the Super Cup Series at Jennerstown right after this. The Super Cup Stock Car Series is brought to you by RacingJunk.com and by 303. Keeps your car looking new longer. Super Cup Stock Car action, Jennerstown Speedway. Ron Langdon has got to like what he's seeing out the front windshield, and that is clean and green, open racetrack. As Harvey Harrison gives chase here in the second of Twin 50s this evening. Top 2 have separated themselves from Toby Grinovich in that 40 car. Then comes the 80 of Brent Nelson, who won earlier this afternoon. And the point leader, Bob Shack, trying to give chase. Going board with Bob Shack as he chases Nelson down into turn number 1. Bob Shack really went on a tear at the beginning of this season, but running a different car here this weekend.
See, this is the car I won Dominion with back in September. So car's pretty good. You know, it's been a while since we raced it, so you know, you get used to the way the feel of the other car is and stuff like that. So once I get over that, you know, then I think the car will be pretty good.
How was practice?
Terrible. I can't get a hold of the racetrack. So I mean, we're still pretty fast, but we worked on it. We'll see what happens.
Saw Brent Nelson go wide down to the corner in turns 1 and 2, and Bob Schacht able to pick up that 4th position. Bob Schacht went on a tear earlier in the season and scored several wins. That put him in the point lead, but had some disastrous luck, and now it looks like Brent Nelson may be having some bad luck as Nelson pulls off the racetrack and pulling to the attention of his crew, and looks like this might be a short night for the 80 car Brent Nelson. So Nelson on pit road. Meanwhile, Ron Langdon has got Harvey Harrison on that rear bumper cover. Harrison stays a car length and a half back as they work out of turn 2 and head down that back straightaway once again. Harrison trying to put the pressure on Langdon. Langdon is really getting the job done here tonight at Jennerstown. Field actually top 2 off of turn number 4. And now Bob Schacht is closed in on the 40 of Toby Grinovich. A battle starting to develop there as Schacht puts the pressure on. And on board with Kevin Kromer. This is the battle for 5th and 6th. Stephen Cox has got 5th. Nearly a full straightaway back from the 4th place battle. And behind him, Kevin Kromer trying to get into the top 5. Kromer looks at the rear bumper cover off at turn 4. Nothing doing there, but Brent Nelson looks like he is done for the night, climbing out of his car, and Olivia is there.
Bad luck bit again. I don't know. I think we got something possibly in the motor that laid down on me. Instead of destroying it, I'm just going to park it.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. We'll get them next time.
Hard to smile. Brent Nelson has been known to pick up both twin 50s here at Jennerstown before, but it's not going to happen tonight. Short night for Brent Nelson. Once again, Kevin Kromer, this is what I was thinking about. Kromer really putting the pressure on Stephen Cox. Stephen Cox a little wider line that time through 3 and 4, and Kromer unable to capitalize, but those two continue their battle down the front stretch and back into turns 1 and 2. Kromer down a little bit lower, half car width lower. It looks like he may get a fender alongside. His caution is out. We've got caution on the speedway. Everybody slowing down. Oh, problems over in turns 3 and 4. You can see from the windshield and the onboard. That would be the 7 of Samatha Rohrbaugh that has gone around and brought out the caution after her spin over in turns 3 and 4. On board with Samatha and the C7R Motorsports on board. She gets it refired and will rejoin the field. Under caution here at Jennerstown, where Ron Langdon, car 17, showing the way, followed by Harvey Harrison, Toby Grinovich, Bob Schacht, and Stephen Cox, rounding out your top 5. More racing action coming your way right after this. The Super Cup Stock Car Series is brought to you by Extreme Awards and Personalization, and by G-Force Racing Gear, your home for quality, innovation, and value. Cody Rohrbaugh turning the riches on the number 7 car of his sister Samatha here this weekend. Another graduate of the Super Cup Stock Car Series. His career is moving along rather well, competing in the NASCAR Truck Series now. Another of several family efforts here in Super Cup. Grandpa Larry Berg, oft-times driving the 7 car, did so in race number 1 this afternoon, but Samatha getting her 2nd start of 2018 after an 11th place finish at Dominion. On the restart, Harvey Harrison is going to jump out front. Langdon had the inside line, but Harrison likes that outside line going into turn 1, and he took over the race lead. Langdon back to 2nd. Stephen Cox, along with Toby Grinovich, giving chase. There's Bob Schacht, top 5, all in order down through turns 1 and 2. We're on board with Bob Schacht. Off at turn 2. A little wiggle out of Grinovich's 40 car as they work off the corner. And, well, he's bouncing around a little bit, a little wiggle out of the 40 car. Might have been some contact right there. Schacht drives to the inside, able to get by a spinning Toby Grinovich. Under caution here at Jennerstown. The fast half mile, things happen in a hurry. See if we get another look at it. Here's Schacht out of turn 2. Grinovich from the outside all the way to the apron. That usually frees the car up. A little wiggle, a little sideways. Grinovich trying to drive it on around. Doesn't quite catch it. Bob Schacht able to miss the nose of the 40 car, and we're under caution here at Jennerstown. The field restacking for another restart. Harvey Harrison up on the outside, along with Ron Langdon to the inside. Choose rules sees Lauren Butler move up to the outside in that 53 car. Mike Potter, 14 car, lining up behind the 21 of Stephen Cox. And there's Grinovich also using the choose rule, able to use the outside line and advance all the way up to the outside of the third row for this restart. Off the corner, Harvey Harrison again. Not quite the advantage he had over Langdon on the first restart, but nonetheless takes the lead out of turn 2 and heading down the back straightaway. Stephen Cox 3-car battle as they work to turn 3. Harrison back after nearly a 1-year layoff. Behind him, though, the battle builds for second position. Stephen Cox got a nose alongside the 17 of Ron Langdon, will pull alongside and takes it deep in the corner. Barely able to stay off the side of the 17 car, battling for second down the back straightaway. Cox will have the preferred line down in turn 3, has a nose in front of Langdon, and as they exit turn 4, Stephen Cox takes over second and sets his sights on the 51 of Harvey Harrison. Harrison, a runner-up finish earlier this afternoon in race number 1. Been a year since he's been in competition, but earlier Olivia had a chance to catch up with him, and we got a glimpse into the man that is Harvey Harrison.
He was out with some health issues in the family, and sometimes you got to put your priorities in order, and family comes first in my life. So we had to take a little time off. We wasn't quitting. A lot of people thought we was quitting racing, but no, we just had to back up and take a few off. But everything's going well at home, so we're back down here, and we're going to try it again tonight because we was missing all the fun.
It's great to have the Harrison family back in Super Cup here in 2018. Looking forward to a good 2019 with them and many of our other friends throughout this series. Down the back straightaway, Stephen Cox in that second spot, trying to reel in Harvey Harrison, while Mike Potter has slipped his way by Langdon to take over third. Leaders off at turn 4 as we head to break. It's Harrison, Cox, Potter, Langdon, and potential champion Bob Schacht in that 5th position. The Super Cup Stock Car Series is brought to you by Performance Fiberglass Products and by Stable Oil Stabilizer. Prevent corrosion above and below the oil line. Super Cup Stock Car action at the Fast Half Mile, Jennerstown Speedway. American Racer Tires night at the races. Great crowd on hand, and track general manager Bill Rohrbaugh explains.
We're not trying to attract racing fans and bring them to Jennerstown Speedway. We're trying to bring fans to Jennerstown Speedway and making them racing fans. And it takes a little out-of-the-box approach, but we found out that if you put the hard work to it, we're getting crowds of 5,000 to 6,000 people weekly, and they're coming back becoming those race fans. You know, NASCAR's grown too big too quick, and they've forgotten about the local short track fans. And the simple family of 4 just can't travel. They can't go to these big races and take a chance of getting rain out and paying hotels and fuel and so on and so forth. They can get that same experience here at Jennerstown or any of the Super Cup Stock Car Series tracks. I'm not saying it because I work for the Speedway. I'm saying it because I'm a diehard race fan and watch races all week long. There's a lot of facilities that might have nice stands but not have a nice track. Some might have a nice track but not nice pits. Jennerstown is a total package. When you come here, you see this for the first time, you realize what a gem it really is in Somerset County, Pennsylvania.
It certainly is, and they've been racing here for 91 years in Jennerstown Speedway, so they're doing something right. If you get a chance to visit, I would certainly encourage you to do so. A lot of great racing here at Jennerstown, not only with their late models and various other divisions, but maybe pick a Super Cup weekend and try to visit and enjoy some Super Cup racing as well. Harvey Harrison trying to hold off Stephen Cox. And, talking about Super Cup, we talked to series owner Joe Schmaling about the relationship with Jennerstown.
Well, there's a lot of reasons, and one of them is we started our series here. We're from the Hooters Pro Cup Northern Division, which was housed here at Jennerstown. So this is home to us. When we put this race on today, on the 15th, we called Jennerstown and said we have an extra date we want to substitute a date this year, and they said, absolutely not, we're not going to substitute a date, but we will give you an extra date. That's why we come to Jennerstown. They love us here. We love to be here. It's one of the finest racetracks in the country.
Well, always an exciting racetrack as well. And 3 to go as they cross start finish. Stephen Cox still trying to hound Harvey Harrison as they battle for the race lead out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. And well, Harrison, big wiggle off the corner as he got back on the throttle. Both drivers pushing to the limit to try to go to victory lane here tonight. Cross start finish, 2 to go, 2 laps remaining. Stephen Cox had the race lead in the closing laps in race number 1 and had an inexplicable spin out of turn 2. Thought it might be a shocker, maybe some oil or other liquid on the Speedway. They're closing in on Mark Jones in the 22. Looks like he'll drop down to the inside. Leaders, a cross start finish. White flag is in the air as they head back to turn 1. Cox goes to the inside, dives down low, and whoa, he's almost got into Harvey Harrison, or did he? Stephen Cox goes around. We're under caution. Under caution as Stephen Cox spins after receiving the white flag, battling with Harvey Harrison. Harrison slowing down. We'll take another look at it. On board with Stephen Cox. He dives low all the way to the apron. Mark Jones is right ahead. Contact, looked like wheel to wheel there. Pretty hard contact on top of that. Cox goes around, caution comes out, and Harvey Harrison will see a restart, green-white checker. So Harrison behind the pace truck. We'll get them restacked and ready for a restart. When we come back, it's Harrison, Potter, Schacht, Langdon, and Grinovich, your top 5. The Super Cup Stock Car Series is brought to you by Racing Radios and by G-Force Racing Gear, your home for quality, innovation, and value. It's down to a green-white checker here at Jennerstown Speedway, and we stack up for a restart. Mike Potter will move to the inside after Harvey Harrison selects the outside line for this restart. Off the corner, green is in the air and down to turn 1. Mike Potter looking for his first career win in Super Cup. He's got a lot of wins in his career, but his first Super Cup win side by side with Harvey Harrison down to turn 3. What a battle. Harrison likes that middle groove. Still side by side off the corner. White flag in the air by a nose. Mike Potter had Harvey Harrison at the line. Potter off the pace. The 75 of Bob Schacht going to the inside. Meanwhile, Harvey Harrison scampering away in the 51 car. Harrison headed to the checkers here at Jennerstown off the corner. Harvey Harrison, a second place finish in race number 1 and a win in race number 2. Quite a weekend. And there is Samatha Rohrbaugh in the 7 car sliding to a stop just short of start finish in the inside wall. So some excitement here at Jennerstown. Here's a look at it. Riding along with Kevin Kromer into turn 3. There's Samatha on the outside. The 7 car would be Toby Grinovich in the 40. And Grinovich and Rohrbaugh get together off the corner. They get together again, both starting to slide and spin. And Samatha goes around and into the inside wall. Not sure if Grinovich got into the outside wall, but Kevin Kromer able to avoid. Meanwhile, Harvey Harrison's in victory lane, about to climb out and talk to Olivia, our former champion, back in victory lane here in 2018.
Harvey Harrison, fantastic job. Now, you shared with us that some family issues have been keeping you from the track this year, and now you come out and you take first place. What does this mean to you?
Well, it makes up for all that time off that we had. So it's been pretty good. I want to thank the good Lord. If it wasn't for the Lord and Jesus, we wouldn't be here tonight. My wife wouldn't be free of cancer, and everything's good. So I want to thank my crew, JP, my spotter, my son. Also my son back home. I wished he was here. There's so many people I need to thank. Southern Coal. I hate that we got together with Stephen. I think it was just close racing. I tried to give everybody room. I had a blast. I really love this track. American Racer, you can't beat these tires. They're economy tires. Super Cup Series, it's great. We've had a blast, had a lot of fun. People need to come out and watch these races more because it's a great series.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, congratulations to the Renwick, West Virginia driver Harvey Harrison in victory lane. Bob Schacht came in as the potential point champion. He is the champion here in 2018 and second place finisher. Olivia is with our champion.
Okay, there you go.
Bob,
thank you.
Congratulations. You worked so hard for this all year. How'd you do it?
We just working, and we don't give up. I mean, Joe likes to tell us to bring, lawn chairs here, and I'm not that way. I work. My guys, we work hard, I mean, we got a new sponsor with Pods aboard. We got ECC, Barb and Arnie. Thank you. It's an awesome year for us. We really worked hard for this.
How big is this to you on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, the last one I won championship-wise was back in the, the mid-'80s and stuff. So this is a big deal for us, especially for my guys. Patty, Priscilla, Steven, Stefan.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mike Potter, congratulations on a 3rd place finish. That's fantastic. Recap your night for us.
Well, the first race, our car overheated, so we had to park. Start on the back of this race. Car was good on this race, just come from 15th to well, I was running for the lead, and I quit on a white flag lap. I thought that was a checkered flag, and I could have beat the 51 back to the flag. I just gave it away, pulled a Mark Martin. But it was a good run, good car worked good. Maybe we're getting things going back like it's supposed to.
Well, Mike Potter has had a good year, picked up a pole at Kingsport, and as a car owner as well. They've had an outstanding year. Bob Schacht is our 2018 Series champion. Let's take a look at the finishing order. Harrison, Schacht, Potter, Langdon, and Kromer are your top 5. Grinovich, Kamarinsky, Cox, Ashton, and Jones rounds out the top 10. Look at the remainder of the finishing order. See Zellweger, Lauren Butler, John Miller, Samatha Rohrbaugh, Andrew Kostelek, and Brett Nelson, the remainder of that finishing order. Well, thanks for joining us. For Olivia Pritchett and the entire Sopwith Motorsports crew, I'm Gene Crane. We'll see you next time.